The most startling instance I found of racism was in 1925. I was 4 years old. And in that year, my father, who was a scientific farmer, working for Will Donald, who was a big landowner in that area, my father grew 30 bales of cotton on 20 acres of land due to scientific methods of crop rotation, which was never equal. It was an exception, a bale and a half of cotton to the acre. And he was very frugal. So in that year, he anticipated that after settling up, which meant that you pay for the fertilizer, you pay for the use of stock, that you then split the net profit. So he should have had 10 to 12 bales of cotton to split between him and Will Donald. But when he went for the settle up, that is the last bale of cotton taken to the gin, and you go and do the accounting, call it settling up, Will Donald told him he just broke even. And this was the most onerous thing about sharecropping. There was no recourse to the civil courts. And the reason that Will Donald said he just broke even is because all computations, all figuring of what was called a Negro didn't have any meaning in Alabama courts. So he was charged for items that he never used, but items that Will Donald saved during the year or had available for him during the year. So Will Donald said he broke even because meats and what they call victuals was there, even though he didn't draw it from the commissary. It was there available, so he charged him for it. And we were all told, the outcome, which saddened me. I was literate at the time, and I vowed then that when I grew into manhood, I would find some place that this would never happen. So my first bitter experience with racism came that night when I saw my daddy coming home, and my mother put us to bed early, and we slipped and eavesdropped on what went on and found out that we were not going to get the toys. I had been promised a new little red wagon. My brother had been promised a rifle. Other brothers, older ones, had been promised manufactured suits. And none of this was to take place because we just broke even though it was an unprecedented crop that should have been for 10 to 12 bales of cotton, the sale of which should have been split between the sharecrop, my father, and Will Donald. And it was peonage. It was arbitrary. There was nothing my father could do. And because he argued with Will Donald about being fair, give me at least something, Will Donald foreclosed on him and ordered him to move off his land. And then we had to leave the village where we had grown up, which was home. We had to move 30 miles, which was tantamount to going to the moon. We had to move to a new county. We had to move from Dale County to Houston County. And it's like recolonizing the moon. I've studied all the forms of government, from the Mings back in China. I've studied them. None of them have been formed on solely an idea. Here we have a nation whose governance is predicated on an idea, and that idea is that all men are created equal. And you saw the manifestation of that last night. There was no shotguns, there was no rifles, there was no AK-47s, there was no people. People had a paper on an electronic button to establish the outcome of the election. I don't look at the president-elect as per se a black person. My thinking is it's coincidental that the president nominate coincidentally happens to be a black man. So the theory I feel is that this is proof positive that in this country, anybody can do it.